You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard to find. All right. Hey, everybody, McGill Billy here.
Yeah, I'm Jamie.
Welcome back to One More for the Good Guys. And if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. We like to start off by saying thank you for all the support. If you hit the like, subscribe, follow, notifications, all that good stuff, it is an absolute free way to help the channel, and it absolutely does freely help the channel. So do that. We thank you for that. Follow us on all of the social media pages, Instagram, well, all of them. We're on all of them, Twitter, X, all that stuff. But without further ado, fella, we've been really excited about having up here to the honky tonk with us for quite some time. The one and only, the Greenville Flash, Dr. Benny Smith. How are you, Doctor?
I'm good and getting better, man.
All right.
I had a good trip out here and enjoyed the scenery and been looking forward, like you said, to doing it and connecting for a long time. There's been a lot going on last year in my life, so but
just a little bit.
You know, that's in the rear view, and that's a good thing.
That
so
is a
now
good
I can
thing.
do things like this and enjoy it. And I knew I was going to be the big time tonight because my boy Michael Fuzzy Grider told me that he listens to y'all on the regular.
Yeah.
And that's my boy.
Good customer, too.
He
oh,
is.
my, that's exactly.
Seen him yesterday. Wednesday.
He's gold to me. He's a good one, and Golden Boy, actually, we called him back in the day. And
oh, no kidding?
Yeah, but he was at WTK and was a music director. Didn't really work out. Became news director. Killed it doing that. Awesome. Yeah. Then went on to work at All News or News 990 and all that, and did great things there. And that's how I met Tim, I think, a lot, and got to know Tim Burchett well, and of course went on and did a career with him. But a big fan of your all, so I'm like, okay, with Fuzzy's saying we call him Fuzzy because he was into golf when he was a student at UT. And
for Fuzzy.
So apparently still is. Said
he is.
He had a tea time the other day. He was wanting some cigars.
He is.
Yeah. Well, he showed up about 3 months ago now, or two.
Event number one, I think it was.
No, it wasn't the first one. I think it was the second one.
On your podcast, on the show?
No, we do a once a month event for Good Guys Cigars.
Oh, yeah.
And he had, I guess, the YouTube's algorithm, because he had hit like, subscribe, follow, notifications.
Yep.
You know, the YouTube's is so much smarter than we are.
Yeah, damn right.
We popped up in his cigar stuff that he had been following some of the real big people, some of the bigger companies and stuff. And we popped up and it said Knoxville, and he showed up to our event and then became an OG member. So,
and he is
very
OG.
cool.
He's a good one, and we go way back. So when he told me, he was like, man, I'm pumped you're on the show. I'm like, I've arrived.
And
I've arrived. If you know, Grider Dog knows about it, we're good.
And a Cubs fan too. So that was even
But we're
better.
not going to hold that against him.
Yeah.
Look, if you're a customer, you can be any fan you want.
That's right.
Just doesn't mean you're right.
That's right.
Just doesn't mean you're right.
If you buy anything or sell anything or take anything from me, don't mention the Yankees, because I may put
wrong episode.
I might put fireworks in the end of your.
I damn near wore a jersey tonight.
You
but
should
I figured
have.
I'd wear the home team. So.
You should have. We would have had fun with it. You know me.
Yeah. Well,
this asshole's a Yankees fan too, so I don't care.
There you go.
Hey,
I'm not.
Winning is contagious.
Y'all don't scare
Winning
me.
is contagious.
Y'all don't scare me. But any rate, we've been excited to have you up, and we've been trying to get it together for a long time. And as Benny said, a bunch of stuff had been going on in his end of the world, and as well as ours. And we may or may not talk about any of that. It's up to you. If we need safe words, we can. If you need to use the restroom anytime, we can. We've got sponsors. We can go to commercial and all that stuff.
We have a pause button.
We have that as well. Yes. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for, color commentary.
Yeah. I'm going to start calling you Lightning.
You should.
Because you never strike the same place twice.
That's right.
No. But real quickly, before we get into the thing, we always do this. What are you smoking?
I am smoking the CAO 660.
And he couldn't wait.
I had to, I've been smoking it a while. Monster 6x60, Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. I'm assuming it's probably, I didn't look it up, but it's probably Nicaraguan binder and filler.
You got agua.
Yeah, very good though. No, not a whole lot of pepper. Straight, medium, sweet.
No, it was a cigar of the year. I can't remember what year it was, but
well, it deserves it.
Great
it's good.
Cigar.
One of the few box pressed I like the mouthfeel on. So anyway,
I'm smoking a limited. I've got 2 more of these left, and I thought today was a special enough day that I'd pull this one out and have. But this is the Dos Cientos, named Dos Cientos by Joya de Nicaragua, or 200 in Spanish. The new cigar. This cigar was created to celebrate the 20th anniversary of September 15th, 1821, when the countries of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua declared their independence from the Spanish Empire.
Viva!
This is a Nicaraguan puro. Actually, I lied. This is an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and fillers. They only made, I think, 3,000 boxes or 500 boxes of these. That's a pretty big discrepancy, isn't it?
Pretty uppity is what it is. Sounds expensive.
3,000 boxes of 21 cigars that totaled, yes. So I bought these at an event and have been holding on to them for many, many years now. So that's why I decided to do this. But at any rate, Joya de Nicaragua, one of our favorites.
This is back on this because I was wrong. It's a mixture of Nicaraguan and Dominican fillers, which is why it's not quite as peppery, but it's got a Connecticut Habano seed binder.
There you go.
So all over the place.
Do you boys go out and get your cigars, or do they get sent to you and they say, hey, do this on your show?
Well,
and what do we need to do to get you to that point where that happens?
Find anybody that
hit like and subscribe and say
follow notifications. Yeah, well, when we first started, we were just hobbyists, or and then
serious hobbyists,
and then
we beat Bama's ass, and then the whole cigar thing
and we started. Well, that ain't what started it, but we did sell cigars for at Trailhead the last 2 years the last 3 years we played Bama. 2 years, I guess it is now, but
it's a beautiful thing.
And we do have a special cigar for this year's Victory cigar that only Tennessee retailers can get, and it is affectionately named the Tennessee Waltz.
Ooh.
When we whip the pachyderms hides in Tuscaloosa this year. So,
all right.
Don't say nothing else.
I know.
Don't jinx it.
No.
I know the challenges, but
SEC
we're going to whip
meetings
their
are going
ass.
on. Football's in the air. It really is.
It really is.
Thinking that way, actually. So,
I wish football weather was in the air.
Good God.
Yeah.
This ain't fat people weather, man. I'm telling you right now, I'm struggling.
It ain't no kind of weather unless you got a scaled skin and horns popping out and a big long red tail.
We were at the zoo the other day and the damn rhinos were inside. Have you ever seen a rhino on TV that wasn't in the hottest place on the planet? They won't even come out in Knoxville.
I'm telling you.
Too humid, I guess.
Monday, tell the kinfolk don't move here.
Yeah.
Shit's hot.
Yeah. I came in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, and I'd been working out over at a buddy of mine that bought some property and a house, and we've been doing some remodel stuff on it and stuff, and I've been outside the last 2 days. And I came in and dropped the clothes and stood in the fan and then had to go immediately and just take about a 20-minute cold shower.
It's
just
so dangerous, dude. It's so dangerous. You got to constantly hydrate.
Oh,
constant.
I don't think you do, but I don't think
you still can't catch up.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
You just got to try.
The faster it goes in,
the older we get, the more you got to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Jesus.
No, absolutely. But it's been brutal Brutal. Grew up in Greenville.
Yeah, man.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Now I heard some of the, I actually listened to the entire thing, and, but the podcast that, you did with Benny, or, Ben Fields.
Ben in stereo that day.
Yeah. Dos Vientos.
Yep.
But yeah, I got to listen to some of that and get to catch up on a little bit of your history. But yeah, Greenville, Tennessee, and that's where you and I can't remember, but did you know right away you wanted to be in broadcasting? That you wanted to be in this?
Obviously, when we're younger in that age, I don't know that we know at that point. But when I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, I knew. I mean, I grew up with a cassette tape deck that you press play and record at the same time, and right by the radio. Just, whatever song I was liking.
It was long, like this shape, had a little handle on the end of it.
Yeah. And you just, over and over the songs you liked. And if you like the DJ, you keep his or her talk on. And, I was in the Tri-Cities at the time. I lived in Greenville, and we moved to Colonial Heights up there by Kingsport for a minute, and then back to Greenville. So I got to listen to a lot of different stations, Johnson City, Bristol, Kingsport. I mean, there were a lot of stations, that during the day I could listen to. And so I got to hear a decent mix of music and exposed to a decent mix. But then at night, when they would power down and the stations in Chicago, whoa, up in Indiana, WLAC, WLS in Chicago, like I said, WLAC in Nashville, they would power up. And then you get to hear music that you don't hear in the Tri-Cities or in Greenville. And so I would sit there with my recorder, boom, 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 and it was mainly the music that got me into it because my older brothers introduced me to music. My parents were in a Southern gospel group back home. So music was part of it. My mom played at church. And so, we had a lot to do there. And so it was all around me. There was no getting away from it.
Yeah.
And that's what got me into radio, thinking, okay, I want to play music. I would make mixtapes for people, man, tons of people.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I want to get into radio because I want to play music for people and turn them on to it.
Yeah.
And then everything else changed. I got in there, it was a program that was, hooked up to the World's Fair. And so it was 81, 82. It was my junior year, I guess. Yeah. And, at high school at Greenville. And I got picked to be in this class. There was only 3 classes, one in each region of the state that was part of it and part of the World's Fair. And I was in that class, and we had to do an internship outside of class. And I picked WGRV, the radio station in Greenville, went down there, reported my first day internship. They hired me part-time. And so literally that was when I was 16 and it started. I'm like, I'm in, and again, I got in because of my love for music, but then I got in and I started understanding when I was working there, how many people were listening to Green Devil football, Green Devil basketball, how many people, when a fire would happen in Greenville, we would do a fire kind of alert thing and tell people where the fire was. But then we would tell them, don't follow the fire trucks. And I'm like, well, that's so Greenville. There's nothing going on. People are going to go exactly to where the fire is.
Yeah, we're sitting around we're tearing wings off of flies or watching apples grow.
Yeah, the fire is at blah, blah, blah. But don't follow the fire trucks and do not enter the scene. So, but man, it was just, and one night I was working, I think this was 81, 82, man. There was a bad ice storm. It was in the whole East Tennessee. The Knoxville, this area was affected. And I was working on air, and I remember a state trooper calling me and just how bad it was and how important it was that I worked with him getting the word out. And I was like 17 years old. I'm sitting there going, my God. Because back then, everybody listened to radio.
Oh, yeah.
This is 82,
absolutely. That
81,
was
82, 83. And so, it hit me. I'm like, this thing's much bigger than music. Our 1230 local newscast was on, and everybody in town shut down. My memos on 2 ends of the county shut down everything to listen to that 1230 local newscast.
Yeah.
Who's in the funeral parlor? Who was born that day? And you just saw from the inside out what that was about. And it totally changed me, totally affected me, and totally showed me that radio is a tool that can be a positive force in your community. And WGRV still is today. It really, really is back home.
Absolutely. Man, that's fascinating. I would have never.
There's lots, dude. I did swap and shop. I did, so many things. And it's an incredible learning experience at that stage in that size market, because you get to learn how to do everything. So by the time I got to UT, I knew how to do all that. And I've been doing it for 2 years, and getting paid for it because it's a part-time job.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things, I was on the AM station, which is really popular, and main station in Greenville, but it was a FM WIKQ, and it had one of the sweetest, that and WOKI at the time had the two best signals in radio in the Southeast, the two best
100.1. 100,000 watts.
Yeah, you could pick it up in downtown Birmingham in the middle of the day, WOKI. WIKQ, we were in 5 states in Greenville. So I was 16 years old, and my voice was being heard in 5 states.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there going, this thing's a little bit bigger than sitting here and playing people music, driving around in your car, drinking beer and doing whatever. And you just saw how people cling to the station for a lot of information. That still goes on today with EAS weather alerts and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it just, at a young age, I'm like, number one, it's a blessing. I learned this is for me. This is what I want to do. Number two, even though despite it wasn't exactly what I got into it for, all music, I loved it even more, seeing the other impact of what it did to the community in Greenville.
I can only imagine it was like another part of the world opening up. It was so multidimensional that every time you thought you had seen it, or, I didn't know this was part of it.
Yeah.
And then another.
Yeah. I mean, a great example of that, perfect, is working the fair. I mean, the fair in Greene County, it comes once a year, obviously. Everybody goes twice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the shit. It's it all year, and rightfully so, because Greenville is such an agricultural, like this part of Knox County, man, and it's always going to be attached to the fair that way. But obviously, there's the Midway and all that. Well, as a radio station, we were there broadcasted live, and to be there and to see the impact and people coming by, we had what was called Meet Your Match game, where you were given a number when you come in, and someone else out on the fairgrounds had that number. So you go around looking at everybody's number, and imagine today you get shot or slapped doing
it. Oh, yeah.
But everybody was looking at the number. When you found your match, you bring it back and you get a prize. And I just remember people checking in at our booth, and I was like, my God, this is overwhelming. People, they come looking for us. So that's a great part of, again, something I took from that station, where you take the station out of the station and you put it inside the community, like at the fair.
Yeah.
Like we did for years at UTK on campus, or like we're doing with DVX at Yeehaw and Bissell Park and Oak Ridge and other places. I mean, you got to get out of that community you support and find ways to lift it. And it was cool to learn that at 16. That was really cool.
When did you realize that, obviously Next Steps College, did you source out UT because hometown, Big Orange?
Or
were you also were you looking at other things that, why UT? Was it all about the program they had there for journalism, or for media, or broadcast media?
I'll tell you this. I came to the conclusion and the realization really early on, and this is one thing that really helped me, is that I knew I wasn't going to get rich working radio, doing what I was doing. I just, but that was not my priority. Yeah. I needed to make money. We all do, and get by. And so when I accepted that, when I knew that, and when I'm like, what I'm saying is, I want to do what I want to do, and I want to put my resources to its fullest extent, and not just be cookie cutter, doing things. And so And so, yeah, that led me to, basically stepping out of even WGRV there in Greenville, and rolling into WTK, which was a whole nother level of involvement and everything else. But
culture,
man, the transition and the the stuff I brought, just being ready to go and hitting the ground running like I did, it was really, really valuable to get me as far as I did at that station. I mean, like I said, I took my freshman year. I knew, you're right. I came to UT. I mean, I looked at other places, North Carolina, Indiana, IU, all places with great broadcasting programs. And conveniently, I had kinfolk in Indiana, in North Carolina. Right. So I was going to use their addresses as a local address to get in-state tuition. I even looked at App State because I'd even talked to them about walking on in baseball. That's because I love baseball so much. But again, you know, at that point, if you realize what's going to put bread on your table and you realize how to go about getting it, and I was able to do that because I started at 16 at WGRV. But the UT thing, I knew WTK was there. They just had started in January 82. So that was my junior year in high school, and I knew it had started. But being from Greenville, Knoxville's a big city.
Sure.
So, man, when I graduated high school, we'd come up here for teen board for a night, you know, and Van Halen stayed in the floor by under us and just shit like that. And you're like, you know, so when I got up here on the perm, staying up here, August through December, and because this was quarters, so we were there longer than they are now. And had a roommate from Greenville and living in Hess, which was just a great haul to get started in at UT, especially when you're from a place like Greenville. Hell, people from Memphis were strange to me. I was just so sheltered and hadn't gone anywhere. And I'm like, who are all these people? You know,
bad boy Luther.
You know, and Hess is what did it. But in-state tuition helped too. Man, I'm a freaking Vol. My God, we grew up listening to it. Every Saturday in our house, it was on from one end of the house to the other somewhere in the fall. I mean, it just, to be able, and I was the first one in my family to do it at UT, so that was cool. Yeah. But to absolutely have that opportunity and take advantage of it, and know that was your state university you cheered for all your life, big deal.
Well, I got a dozen questions, but because I've just always been curious, and I tell people all the time when we do the podcast and I actually get to have guests on that it's, these are people, a lot of these folks that come on, including yourself, have been people you've known 20 something years or longer, maybe in some cases. And you would think, but there's bar talk, there's music talk, there's, oh my God, there's lots of people around talk, there's sports talk, and there's not, unless, and not to make it out like we're some big, huge kind of celebrities or anything, but 9 times out of 10, if you're in Knoxville somewhere, I got recognized in LAX.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Walking through the airport in my overalls, like Mike McGill. I'm like, what the? So I say all that, but no doubt. Who was the mentor? Who was that person? Was it a teacher or was it a station boss or somebody who helped you show you this is the next step you take to go do this? Well,
luckily for me, because I'm a guy that really, really preaches you never stop learning. I'm still got those people coming into my life, Jeff Jarnigan is one that I've developed a relationship later in my career with. It has just been it's such a great back and forth and such a great benefit to have him to be able to pick up the phone and call. But there's a guy DJ back in the day called Bill Mitten back in Greenville that was just he was He was the dookie. He was the shit.
Yeah,
he went by the Lone Ranger back in the 60s, and I have these interviews.
Is this the guy I want to know about?
Oh, dude, I've got these interviews thanks to my buddy Nathan Humbert from WGRV when Bill worked there with James Brown, Etta James, Wilson Pickett, all backstage from the Knoxville Coliseum where they play at the Civic Coliseum. And I would run those specials at WTK. They've got great, James talks about the Vietnam War very candidly, and Bill does a great job interviewing. And Bill was a great DJ. He wasn't the Wolfman Jack kind of talking, but his status was kind of like that in Greenville, but he was a partier. And so he was playing poker one night at a house and drinking and stumbled out, and the train tracks happened to be by next. So he was in a wheelchair for a long time, but that did not stop him. Did not stop his career, which is another reason I admired him. So he was a really cool inspiration early on. But one of my best friends in Greenville, Andy Moon, he lives up here in Knoxville now, still one of my best friends. And so one of the best athletes I've ever played with, signed with Alabama football, but I still love him. Blew his knee out, so he ended up not playing.
Where'd you
that's
go
my
wrong
boy,
at, Andy?
But his dad worked at WGRV in Greenville, and Andy and I grew up together, close. We lived close to each other. God, we lived with each other. We were with each other a lot, and so his dad worked there at WGRV, and so did his uncle, and so did another neighbor of ours, Ray Smith, and they were all inspirations to me once I got in there. And friends of mine, Steve Wilhoit and Clark Jones and Nathan Humbert, who's still there. And, to be able to start in radio like that and dude, I'm going to tell you, when I was there working, and it was nighttime, especially, and the damn snow started falling, so Greenville, there's 5 county high schools. So imagine, I can't remember, I think it was like 22 or something elementary schools or something feeding those. So when it started snowing, and Greene County is huge land-wise, they would all start calling the radio station. We out of school tomorrow. Can't be going to school tomorrow. McDonald Elementary going to school tomorrow. I'm like, I have no idea yet. I'm like, I'll let you know.
You're the radio man.
Exactly. But I was sneaking all the Pretenders and B-52s and Hendrix and stuff, as well, which was kind of fun. But it was great getting that start, and great being able to parlay that into UT after I took 4 semesters off of radio deliberately just to, sow some wild oats here in town.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy I did that because, man, again, coming from Greenville and getting into Knoxville, and I met so many people being able to do that and learn so many different things. And hell, I didn't know what a bagel was till I came to UT. I mean, just shit like that. That sounds stupid and hillbilly, but it's
it's like small town America, man. Given where it's at, I've said it a million times, being from here and knowing that I've got to travel all over the world and all over the states, playing and singing and doing what I love to do. I would have never.
Nah.
I just, I knew and figured I'd always probably be doing something with or about music because it was my life. It's
a God-given gift. You need to do something with it.
And then having my brother, and one of the things we got in common is the whole Southern gospel angle. Yep. With brother being one of the founding members of the Kingdom Heirs, from back in the day.
That's awesome.
And the first time I jumped on that, first time I bucked gear and sat in that jump seat of that Silver Eagle, I was burnt, as they say.
Then you popped in a Van Halen tape.
Yeah, then I popped in some Van Halen when nobody was looking. But
Hellion.
But yeah, no, you don't know. We come from that life. Now, did mom and dad have music playing at the house? Was it a musical household?
My mom played piano, and so she played for me here, and she played for church, and Bible school, and on and on. And so, she was, especially if she had to play that Sunday.
Yeah.
I tell Megan all the time, I'm like, that was our alarm clock, her practicing, getting ready for Sunday morning. and there were certain hymns. I grew up Lutheran, still Lutheran, and as my dad said, you're born Lutheran, and there are certain Lutheran hymns that were standards, and we'll sing them in church. And I look at Megan, I'm like, that was when it woke me up.
Oh, man.
And I mean, we were that involved in our church growing up, and but they were. So my mom and dad were in a Southern gospel group called the Friendly Four.
Okay.
And it really started with my dad's dad, Coy Otis Smith, and his cousins in Caney Branch, Tennessee, Newport, right on the Greene County line. And so they were a Southern gospel group. And then once they got older, that my dad was actually, he substituted for one of my papa's cousins, and they sang on the Midday Merry-Go-Round.
Okay.
So, I got that connection there to Gay Street, which is so cool. And then after Papa and them kind of split up, they gave it to my dad and his brother and his two cousins, AC and Max. And so they kept the Friendly Four tradition alive, and my mom would play piano, and they toured and played churches and funerals and all kinds of stuff. So it was that Southern gospel, and they knew the Blackwood Brothers, and they knew, we'd sit and listen to just hours of that stuff, and it was harmonies, man, harmony. That's why. Just
inspirations.
You'd watch Bonnie, Lou, and Buster on Sunday mornings. You grew up watching Kaz in the morning. It was just stuff you did.
Ain't that right,
part of it. Yep.
That's right, Jay.
Yep. Who they met in Greene County at Roby School when they were going to Roby School. Those two did. So Greene County's everywhere, man. I'm telling you can't spray for them Green Devils. We're everywhere. It's Town, Tennessee, baby. But I'm blessed. It was a great place to grow up. We didn't have a mall. We had mountains. That's not a stretch. That's just how it was. And we swam and jumped and camped.
Nolichucky.
Jeez. Nolichucky on one end, French Broad on the other, up Paint Creek and Hot Springs and all that. Nolichucky, man, it's so rough, and that's what it means in Indian. It's, I think, rough waters or something, but in Cherokee. But still, there were spots. But the French Broad, especially up by Paint Creek, and great place to grow up. And being there and being on that radio station pointed me in the right direction. Good place to grow up. Might be a good place to retire, but in between, you see where I've been.
Right. Right. I got to ask you about this name. This is a name from the past before we move on. But so I got introduced I was telling you about my neighbor.
Yeah.
And he had left here, like his name's all over every trophy in the case over at Carter.
Your neighbor?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, shortstop.
See, I'm affectionate for Carter because y'all are green and white, too. We're like the only two green and white high schools, I think, in all of East Tennessee.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Probably so.
Yep.
But he was a great athlete, shortstop, point guard, and probably could have went on. He walked on at ETSU.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And
which is that's a big deal. ETSU's got a good program.
Hey, man.
Absolutely.
They were beating UT on the regular. That Marty Story from Greenwood.
Beat them this year.
Yeah. And so when I moved back, when I bought this house out here, I was remodeling it, and I knew him cause he grew up in that house and the whole 9 yards, and I grew up in that house, and we kind of got linked up. He came over to introduce himself, and I said, I know who you are. I said, but we've never met, and we became real fast buddies because I was a musician and a singer, and he was, like I said, a audiophile. He's got everything and anything.
It's unbelievable, really.
And it's just record like that.
Yeah.
Like you were doing it at 13 through 16. He was doing it all the way through 70 when he passed. You know what I mean? He would still say, Michael, I got this thing that has, Eric Clapton, Muddy Waters, and Howlin' Wolf on it from so-and-so, blah, 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 back in this, when they got together on that and this thing. And I'm going to make you a copy of it, and he just bring me literal mounds of just those, what are those things called? The spirals of CDs. Be just like, here you go.
Wow.
And so we got to be real good buddies. But one night, and he liked to have him a shot every now and then, and
who did?
And toke on a number and digging on the radio, if you know.
He did.
And so we were over there one night, and he played me some of the Rambler. So I gotta ask.
What did he? Well, that's wild. I wonder who he got.
Yeah. And I've got a bunch of those tapes of his old shows.
Oh, man.
Drinking Budweiser beer because it's Beechwood age.
Just like Midnight Rambler does.
Yeah.
Man, he was the man. I mean, QUT was the dookie up there. They, that was one of the cool things about growing up there is, Freedom Hall got so many cool rock shows because QUT was such a good rock station and worked with all those labels. And I mean, there were bands and shows came there that my first show was 75, Grinder Switch, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Charlie Daniels Band, $10. Second show was Trooper, REO, and BTO, and I mean, there were just shows like, 4 or 5 of those a month,
Yeah.
Seemed like Mother's Finest came through about every 3 months, man. Just what a cool band.
Freedom Hall. I remember first hearing the thing Freedom Hall off of Mid Atlantic or Georgia Championship Wrestling or NWA, because it was always, we'll be at Freedom Hall next week.
Johnson City, Tennessee.
Yeah. But I had to ask you about the Rambler. So did you ever know him or listen to the stuff? I mean, I'm sure you listened for sure.
I never really got to know him. Tony knew him.
Yeah.
He was wild as later on in life he turned real Christian, like a born again Christian kind of guy.
Really?
So, but dude, the Rambler was huge. Growing up there then with the Rambler and QT and what they did, WQT. I mean, as a radio station, that was in that time, where FM it was kind of moving from the experimental stage, but was kind of playing some commercial stuff, but there was still a big merge of it, which made it very cool. And another reason why they were able to work with so many bands coming into Freedom Hall. But yeah, the Rambler was legend, man. Legend. I mean, those tapes are legendary, getting them out there for people to hear. He was wild. I mean, just wild.
Oh, Bill played them for me, and I'm just like, I laughed my ass off, and he would play stuff, and he'd be like, man, that was nobody'd heard that yet.
No.
He was playing new music.
Late night listeners. I mean, loyal, man. Just loyal. And so, he was the Rambler, was the man.
Beechwood age, because it's right.
Yeah, you should post some of those. There's some good stuff.
I got it. Well, I got it.
The music is just.
I got them over there. I need to go through them and play them all. And problem is, I've got so many to sort through. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff.
I'm sure.
And feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be great things like that I've never heard of. I didn't know. And that was part of the beauty of our friendship was the fact that, I love that Jimmy Warwick. I don't know if you know Jimmy or not, but Jimmy was sitting up here on the observation deck one night. And he's like, well, you probably couldn't bring anything over that I haven't heard of before. It's just Jimmy being Jimmy.
That's him.
And, Nabro went over and brought back like 4 records and was like, there you go. What about that one? He goes, well, your favorite guitar player's on that one. Who's that? I said, well, you said you loved Robin Trower. He's on that record. And he just started just taking him to the school, and telling him like, this is it, this is this, this is this. And I was like, dude, I told you.
Awesome.
But it was, it opened up everything new to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I had never heard like I said this one day, we were talking about ZZ Top one day. Somebody brought it up in bar conversation.
I saw it at Freedom Hall.
Yeah, there you go. And somebody said something about ZZ Top, and then somebody made the thing about, well, they sold out and that Eliminator and all that 80s shit. And I was like, listen, I wouldn't even have known who the fuck ZZ Top was if it hadn't have been for Under Pressure.
Yeah.
Or any of that on the MTV generation.
Yeah.
I would have never heard Tejas. I would have never heard Just Got Back from Babies. I would have never heard Deguayo, which is still my favorite record.
Oh, it's so great.
And, so that you can't, that don't make no sense because his love for music and all the stuff, and I can't begin to tell you how much stuff I got turned on to, and I was 30 years old, and a lot of this stuff I never heard before, and I got to hear, and actually would get to spin it, and listen to it in my own house, which was incredible. But
that's why you got to keep learning, man. That's
exactly.
what I'm saying. Even with music.
Exactly.
So. Hey, I'm gonna keep drinking. Where's my next beer?
I got it.
Thank you so much.
Jamie, you need one?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I used to have that very poster of Bird shooting over Dr. J.
This one?
Yeah, I used to have that.
Did you see this one over here? The doctor's always in.
That's killer.
I had to put him over the globe back there, over the Schlitz
I got
globe.
a killer photo of Dr. J defending Bird at Stokely Athletic Center at that game when they played. The Sixers played the Celtics. Part of the World's Fair. It was way before they got into that fight that time. Bird told him, "Oh man, you better start playing defense, or I'm gonna hang 100 on you."
Yeah.
Dr. J hit him.
I just seen Barkley talking about that on Dan Patrick the other day. Did you see that?
No.
It was a clip, and Barkley was like, he said, "Oh man, Larry, he just kept turning around and saying, oh man, you're gonna have to start doing something."
I'm going to hang 100 on you. Boom. He said he finally got tired of it.
I don't even think they threw him out of the game. I don't think they were even ejected from the game.
I don't think they
probably weren't.
I mean, how can you?
That big brawl that Celtics and the Rockets had in the championship game, they didn't throw none of them out either. I don't believe.
That was a good time.
That was before whoever it was went into the stands and World Be Free. World Be Free now.
Wasn't it Ron Artest?
Yeah, but didn't he change his name?
I don't really.
And Latrell Sprewell.
He's a pacer. Who gives a shit?
Well, that's true.
I mean, it's like asking me something about the Yankees. Either one of you. Who cares?
Celtics. I don't.
Yeah. No. I mean, that was back in the day, man. CBS basketball. Tommy Heinsohn and Dick Stockton. That's and when the Sixers and the Celtics played, it was and Barkley even made mention of that. He said he's like any other game. He said, and we had to play the Celtics in an exhibition game. He said any other game, Moses and Jay and Dr. J and Mo Cheeks and
Andrew Toney.
Said they would all be sitting over eating donuts or drinking coffee, bullshitting around, having a good time while we were out running. He said they'd be riding the bikes, or something like that. He said, but I got ready to go into practice one day and we were getting ready to play the Celtics in an exhibition game. And he was like, I thought I was in trouble. He's like, I didn't know what had happened. He's like, every one of those guys are out on the court, working, shooting, taking shots, doing free throws, running drills, running plays.
Red, baby.
He was like, it was different. Yeah. He was like, anytime. He said, Lakers, who cared?
Yep.
He's like, but anytime we played
the Celtics, them twice a year then.
When we played the Celtics, it was do or die.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty neat.
Yep.
So you get to UT, you get your degree. Did you start working? You started working at the university, or did you start? I know you did some show promotion, worked with AC, and so were you trolling? Did you just have every line out in the water you could get out in the water to stay busy and get paid?
What really happened was I kind of went into concert promotion by default, and by that I mean that. So in the latter days of WTK, especially when I was in grad school and running it in grad school from 88 to 91.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that time period musically, my God, college radio was on top of the world. Grunge, rap turned into hip hop, jam band music was getting played. And, bands like Toad the Wet Sprocket, that nobody was touching except for college radio that helped us blow up. And so it was just a really, really good time to be there and to be a part of college radio. And we, for only 128 watts, we built WTK. And, it was unbelievable with the influence that station had. And part of that was DJ Sterling Pearl and Sterling doing Club 90, the hip hop show that was just recognized nationwide, man. The influence that show had was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Source Magazine, Def Jam Records. How they would, the relationship between the station and all that was hip hop and turned into hip hop was huge because of that show. And there was a lot of it. It was strong, and it was really what really started Pearl on his trajectory, look at him now. Just incredible what he's doing there. So it was a really cool time that I worked up as an undergrad and went as far as I could. And then in grad school, went as far as I could. But what was happening when I was at WTK, we were working with Planet Earth and Ella Guru's, in these venues and bringing all these bands in, huge list of bands, and helping promote them. And so when those clubs started going out of business, all those bands and the booking agents were calling me. And they're like, where can we go? We're going to put 300 people in the club. They're all going to buy beer, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, I know. And so that is when literally by default, I started booking, people like Reverend Horton Heat, Southern Culture on the Skids, bands, like from Brian and the Nightmares from Johnson City, and Plain Jane Has a Date from up there, and then all the Knoxville bands, obviously. And it morphed into a New Rock 99 thing, but part of it was really some of those bigger bands calling me going, Superchunk and all these bands, like, where are we going to play now? So I started No Cheese Music and started booking these bands on my own, put my own money up, putting them into Ace of Clubs, Club Taboo, which was what Ella Guru's came after Ashley left. And then eventually Mercury Theater and built No Cheese Music. Into
how nerve-wracking was that?
Jesus God. I'll do a movie one day and I'll make a lot of money finally on that career.
Yeah.
Because of it. It was incredible. It was everything you would think it is and was. And I sold so many CDs to pay band guarantees. Things like that I look back, I still don't regret any of it. It's just part of it.
Well, no.
It's part of Knoxville growing as a live music town. You can't just stop, Market Square was just dead and Old City was dead. And I'm like, man, it's going to stop. And we're done at that point. There was nothing on the Strip. And Kevin opened up Mercury and, talk about making lemonade out of lemons. That was the place. But man, the bands we brought through and the history we made there and just the way we kept the scene alive at that place and a couple of other places, it was vital that time because there was absolutely nothing else going on.
Yeah. We were talking about this the other day, the whole time all that was going on down here, I was the other direction. I was south and, in the mountains and touring everywhere else and hearing all the stuff that was coming out.
Yeah.
Now it's probably later than that actual time you're talking about, a little later, but I missed all that.
Yeah. It was
I miss the importance of a lot of those bands you talked about. I miss the importance of, like, you know, the what seems to be the Holy Trinity around here with Scott and Todd Steed and RB.
Yeah.
You know, V-Roy Days, Mick, all that stuff. I missed all that. I was out making a living.
Yeah. As well, you should.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But
they're different.
I missed all that.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was a seedy time. It was a very organic time. We were, again, making it all on our own. There wasn't a lot of venues out there at all.
Not for that.
Not a lot of promotion. You know,
You're pirates.
You know, I mean, really were,
in a lot of ways.
I mean, God, and so many of the bands I look back, you know, that I brought through, and, you know, of course, Got By Voices and Hum and, you know, old 97s on the regular. I mean, my God, you know, I mean, Derailers, man. Remember those Derailers show, BR549 show? I mean, I could go on and on and on, and I will. I've been doing something on Facebook. I stopped for a minute. I'm getting ready to do it again. I was starting to think today. So I found my day planner that's got all those shows listed.
Nice.
And in the 90s, when I was bringing them to Mercury, especially, and
we'll be on
I'd
there.
forgotten. I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dynamatics opened for Southern,
no doubt, dude.
Southern Culture on the Skids at the Mercury.
Yep. Yeah.
That was our last show.
That's wild. And those Southern Culture shows were always legendary at Mercury.
So you purposely saved all that stuff?
Yeah, I did.
Are you one of those guys too?
I didn't save all of it, but I saved a lot of it. Yeah, I was a ticket stub dude, you know, and then obviously when I got to know Cheese, and I mean, I put up tons and tons and tons and tons of flyers with friends helping Fort Sanders. But yeah, a bunch I saved, a bunch of really cool ones I saved, a bunch of signed ones. A lot of them are signed.
Yeah.
A lot of them are signed. And yeah, there's a lot of history, a lot of flyers, really cool flyers. They were made at Kinko's on the Strip by my buddy Mark Best Happy Hour. God, I mean, it was a syndicate, man. No cheese music thing. It was great.
Yeah.
But it was what we needed to do. You know, we went up. I mean, I'd get off at night at Record Bar, and the other guys would get off doing what they were doing. And then we go put flowers up in the fort. And we had a stable hammer, so we knew nobody would ever fuck with us. But when the cops would stop us sometimes, because it was supposed to be illegal putting flowers up, I always had a guy who was there with a trash bag. And so we would take all the old flowers down and put them in a trash bag, and we would show the cops. But we're taking all these old ones down so they don't become litter. And every time they would let us keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn those little things.
You got to get by, man.
And we did, despite the Mercury and Kevin and odds against a lot of things at that time. It was, but it was a cool time, man. There were some incredible shows. Incredible.
Well, I could see why in a lot of ways. I mean, a lot of younger people and a lot of other folks don't know. Like, I get it all the time from younger artists and people, or they're just like, you're so natural on the microphone in front of a crowd. And I'm like, that's all I've done. I did it 200 dates a year for how many years? I'm like, I've been working out.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, it's reps. It's those reps. It's totally the reps.
Yep.
But you always didn't have the reps, and you always had to come up with something that would throw an obstacle up in front of you to get your rep in. Like, you know, with taking the old show posters down, so they would still allow you to hang new ones.
Yeah,
you know?
They were blown away. They're like, wow.
You can't sell those CDs on the street. And I'm like, well, we can accept tips though, right? Yeah, you can accept tips. So with every $10 tip, you get a free CD, folks.
That was Prince, you know. Prince's musicology tour came here to Thompson Bowling. It was fantastic. That was not long. It was a few years after they started doing barcode scans for record sales. So his deal was, you buy a ticket to the show, you get a CD. Well, they scanned the CD when you came in, and that counted as a sale.
Absolutely.
And he killed it.
Absolutely.
With the charts on that album. And
absolutely.
You can play the system. You can make it work.
Well, and the second part of all that, of what I was saying is the fact that not everybody wanted it around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of opposition back in those days for a bunch of different things, and I imagine college rock and roll and Wild Kids and this music nobody understood really.
Yep. On Market Square, where there's then there was nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, a Subway and Tomato Head, and Jackie had a Snake Snatch there for a minute until they got shut down. And one reason why was a bunch of skinheads. But no, you're exactly right. It was there's stories. I should do a whole nother podcast on Mercury stories, because and how many bands I fed spaghetti to. I would cook my own spaghetti, and because you had to feed the bands, or you would pay a buyout of like $10 or $15 a head. I'm like, there ain't no damn way I could pay that. I'd cook the spaghetti and bring it to them. Man, they loved it. Old 97s, those guys loved my spaghetti. BR 549 loved it. And you did stuff like that to be able to ensure that you could book the next band, because I couldn't pay $10 a head for a payout for lunch, dinner or whatever. And sometimes Mahassey would help me out, and we'd do a trade where I let some of our employees into a show, and she'd let me feed the band there, which was always cool. But that's what it takes, right there.
It takes that creativity of being able to step over that next obstacle to be able to get into the gym that day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And get that rep.
And and it is all about reps. I told my students that. Yeah. It's all about reps.
Nothing can beat that.
Nope. That's what it is. Every time this mic comes on, it's a rep.
That's it. Yep. And there's so many things that can help and that benefit you and are good for you to be able to do in that business and in that side of it, because you got to look at it too. I mean, just like I would imagine, I don't know. I guess I have been a show promoter too.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah. But you got to wear so many hats.
People don't understand. Ashley, when I worked with Ashley once, I worked with him for almost 8 years, and even then more really. But I remember one meeting we had, and he had the whole team in there, and he's like, when people buy a concert ticket, it's like buying a golden ticket. They don't realize there's been loaders in here since 6 a.m. loading stuff in. They'll be coming back at 10 p.m. Yeah. We'll be here loading stuff till 3 a.m. They don't realize there's been catering people here since 6 a.m. serving breakfast and all that. Yeah. And it's like, you don't want them to realize how much work it actually takes to pull off a show like that. Yeah. Because at that point, you're like, it's not a golden ticket. Yeah. You don't step into a fantasy land where all you have to think about is what's happening on stage. If you start thinking about what it took to get them to stage, it's a totally different world.
Yeah. You'll be wore out. Just by the time you read,
it solved a lot of problems of a lot of people I know. Is like, well, let's put on a show. I'm like, Jesus God.
Oh,
I have no idea, man.
No.
Yeah.
Let's put on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man.
And especially again in a town like we were talking that's venue depleted.
There you go.
Very much
and we
so.
are.
Yeah.
We are. That's why there's not as much growth as there should be.
Well, we are, and there's, people
are doing what they can.
I agree.
So, but man,
I felt like a tweener for years.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, as far as like.
Well, just God love Barley's and what they've been able to do with what they've got. And that's not saying it ain't good. It is good. We've just got to find a 250 seat listening room. We got to find a 400 capacity sit down, maybe 600 stand. There can be a 400 listening room if it needs to be, but it doesn't really have to be. There's a lot of intermediate right now that's missing. We've got 750 with Bijou, 1,000 with Millamine, 1,500 Tennessee, a couple bigger places, Yeehaw and all that. But that smaller stage where you nurture bands and bands aren't afraid to jump on and suck for the first gig or two, which we've seen that happen in this town many times. And by that third gig, you're like, whoa, this ain't the same band. There just doesn't seem as many of those type of stages right now.
I would be in agreement with you on that.
Strip used to be that place, and it was where you would start as a band.
Yeah.
And again, if you sucked, fine. 25-year friends came and drank a lot of beer. So they're going to ask you back.
Yes.
It don't matter if you sucked. You sold beer.
Yeah.
And by the third or fourth show, you're like, damn, I think we're on to something here musically.
I'll tell you something else we're missing. And every one of you all listening that have anything to do with shows and have a venue that can help with this are leaving money on the table, not doing a 7:00 show.
Early shows are finally. Kyle and I were hanging out the other night at Red's show. We're like, man, the day of the early show is here.
Well,
it is.
Where are we gonna?
It is. There you go. We got to find a video where he's talking about.
Oh, I put that bug in his
Red
ear.
Killed it with hers.
I put that bug in his ear.
I mean, it's got to happen because
I was like, we got to find it.
Yeah. I mean, parking. I mean, just it's not been fun. And
well, first of all, unless you're walking or bicycling, and you're over the age probably of 25 in downtown now, it's expensive.
Oh yeah,
it's expensive to go. It's expensive to be there.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna drop $20 before you even have your first beer.
Yeah,
you know. Which is fine.
Privilege of parking there.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying too is we have a lot of people that follow my kind of music that are in a certain age demographic, and we're seeing younger kids all the time.
Yeah.
And we can hold the young kids there, you know, like the jig shows. I mean, they love it. But we miss that big percentage of our crowd that's got money, and all they're trying to do is chase you down the street and throw $100 bills in your back pocket. And nobody was like, well, we just don't start till 9 or 10 or 12 or 11.
And on top of all that, all of us musicians are getting old.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready for bed at 9, not starting a show at 9.
Well, hell, we all have day jobs. So
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So,
there's that.
But no, I think it's making more sense. I think that is not just a trend here; that's everywhere. But we have a venue deficiency.
No, I agree. It's not just here,
and it sucks. And it could help things along a lot more, but it's understandable. That's just how it goes, and you make the best of what you got, and that's kind of what we're all doing right now.
Yes, yeah. No, absolutely.
We've all done it a long time in this town. So
yes,
ain't nothing different.
And I get energetic and passionate about it. I don't want to be the lazy guy that points out the problem all the time. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Because things ain't easy. And you got to roll your sleeves up to get to the end result and try to put some work in to help make it. But if you all want to brainstorm or do anything like that on that early deal, I'm in. And will help in whatever capacity I think
it's becoming a more popular
from this side of the microphone or the other.
Yeah. I just think when they look at numbers, they're understanding that they don't have to stay open so late to sell so much, because that's what it's about.
Exactly what it's about.
Well, you're going to bring more people in.
Exactly what it's about.
Around more beers earlier, as opposed and
again,
and
they buy an entree, and they buy a dinner, and they buying sweet thing a dinner and an entree and a thing. You know, I mean, it's.
Yep.
It's going to happen because they got to cut their labor. I've had restaurants, and that's your biggest expense. That's your biggest expense in any business is labor.
Yep.
And if you can take 3 hours off of it, times 40 people.
You can at night. I mean, that's when you offer limited stuff and blah, blah, blah. But again, I'm not a restaurant. I'm more a music thing. So, but we could use it. Jig and Reel's doing great. Barley's great stuff. You know, Open Chord's doing well out what they're doing. Scott does what he does. It's just not enough.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, man, and what Martha does with jazz at the bistro. Shit. Yeah. That's amazing. I mean,
in that little bitty place.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's this town has a lot of good music. Just we need better places to showcase it.
Well, Trisha Jean and I, one of the first places we ever played together was the bistro.
Yeah.
I think we made $35.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about that.
Yeah.
It was about getting to sing with her and getting to show the stuff we created and the things that we could do. And,
knowing Martha let you do whatever you want.
Yeah. But no, and there's a whole, also, and we'll get off this, I promise, but there's also a whole another group of people that don't know because things have started late for so long, that don't know. They just don't know. And they're not going to be that self-starter or that person to go out and search it.
Yeah.
They don't know. They're like, where are you from?
Same as the $5 cover charge, people. I mean, you know how long it's been a $5 I mean, it's like,
dude,
come on.
You know how long they've been paying us $1 for a single?
Yeah.
40 fucking years.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't went up. Prices of everything's went up, but you're still 99 cents on Spotify.
$5 cover charge.
Right.
Yep.
You know, so anyway, that's enough of my old man. I'm really not bitching about it. I see it. We talked about it months ago.
I got a feeling there's some, and I think there'll be, I think when some other venues open up and all, I think that's when competition makes everybody better.
And like you said too, the people who, the school we came from, like you were saying with like Poe Ramblin' Boys, they got a show.
Yep.
And you know how to entertain.
Yep. From beginning to end.
That's
how to hold them right there.
Yeah. And that's how you have to do it.
Yeah. It's what people pay to see.
That's exactly right. And that's what talent ain't got nothing to do with it. That's an added benefit. Tim Lee told me that one time, and I was just like, I didn't understand it for the longest.
It's so true.
And he's like, they don't have shit to do with it. It's an added benefit, but, but that is, anyway, I got to stop. Let's take a quick pause, a station identification, if you will. I'll be gone in the morning before the sun comes up, with me and my weenie dog and my pickup truck. And either way, baby, a good man, it's hard to find. I said, now either way, baby, a good man, it's hard to find.